Discover the science of daily happiness, how to push yourself to feel joy every single day of life, changing motivational speech that will rewire your brain, ignite your energy, and transform your mindset starting today. Learn how small, powerful actions create massive emotional shifts, build unstoppable positivity, and unlock your true potential for lasting fulfillment. Dr. Wendy Suzuki, inspired secrets to train your brain for happiness, build resilience, and wake up excited for life. Stop waiting for happiness to find you. Start creating it now and feel the difference before the day ends. You know, one of the most powerful discoveries in neuroscience is that happiness isn't just a fleeting feeling you have to wait for. It's a skill, a trainable, learnable skill. Your brain is constantly changing in response to what you think and what you do. Every single experience, every thought, every choice you make leaves a physical imprint on your neural circuits. This is called neuroplasticity, and it means that the way you show up today can literally sculpt the way your brain creates happiness tomorrow. Isn't that incredible? You are not at the mercy of your moods. You have the ability to train your own mind to feel more joy, more optimism, and more resilience starting right now. Think about how you build muscle. If you lift weights once, you won't walk out of the gym with instant biceps. But if you keep at it, reps, sets, steady effort, you see transformation. Happiness works exactly the same way. Each positive action you take is a rep for your emotional fitness. Each time you pause to notice a beautiful moment, savor a laugh, or offer a kind word, you are strengthening the neural pathways that make joy more accessible. The more you practice, the easier it becomes for your brain to find the positive even on tough days. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't about pretending everything is perfect or forcing fake smiles. Training your brain for happiness is about small, intentional actions that shift your focus. It could be as simple as writing down 3 things you're grateful for before you go to bed. It could be taking a mindful breath the moment you wake up instead of reaching for your phone. It could be noticing the warmth of the sun on your face or the sound of someone's laughter in the distance. These moments might seem tiny, but they are powerful signals to your brain that say, this matters. Let's build more of this. And here's the beautiful part. Your brain responds quickly. When you practice these habits consistently, even for just a few minutes a day, you begin to lay down new neural connections that favor optimism and resilience. Over time, those connections grow stronger and faster, like well-worn paths in a forest. Suddenly, what once felt like a conscious effort starts to feel natural. You wake up and gratitude comes more easily. You encounter a setback and find yourself recovering faster. Your mind becomes wired to notice the good, even in the middle of life's challenges. Some people tell me, but I've always been a worrier, or I'm just not a naturally happy person. And I tell them, that's exactly why this is so exciting. Your past does not define your brain's future. The science is clear. No matter your age, background, or habits, you can create real physical change in the neural circuits that shape your mood. You are not fixed. You are adaptable. And that means happiness is not a gift you either have or don't have. It's a practice you can build. So tonight, when you leave this room, I want you to think of one small action you can take to start training your brain for joy. Just one. Maybe it's writing a single sentence of gratitude. Maybe it's noticing a smell you love on your next walk. Maybe it's sharing a smile with a stranger. Whatever it is, commit to it and repeat it. Those repetitions are where the magic happens. Remember this, every positive choice is a message to your brain that happiness matters. And when you send that message often enough, your brain listens and it changes. If you truly want to feel happier every single day, you cannot ignore the way your body moves. Your brain and your body are a team. And when one is stagnant, the other struggles to shine. Movement is one of the most powerful happiness tools we have. Yet so many of us treat it like a chore, something to squeeze in only when we have extra time. But here's the truth. Physical activity is not just about burning calories or getting stronger muscles. It is one of the fastest, most reliable ways to change the chemistry of your brain and spark feelings of joy, energy, and motivation. Every time you move, whether you're walking, stretching, dancing, or lifting weights, your brain responds by releasing a cocktail of feel-good chemicals. Dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins flood your system, acting like natural antidepressants and stress relievers. These chemicals aren't abstract ideas. They're real molecules that literally light up your mood circuits. And it doesn't take hours in the gym to make it happen. Studies show that even 10 minutes of movement can create a measurable shift in your brain. 10 minutes. That's less time than it takes to scroll through social media or brew a cup of coffee. Think about the last time you went for a walk after feeling stressed or anxious. Maybe you didn't want to do it at first. Maybe it felt like one more task on a long list. But within a few minutes, your breathing settled, your thoughts softened, and your energy lifted. That isn't magic. That's biology. Movement increases blood flow to your brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help you think more clearly and feel more alive. It also stimulates the growth of new neurons, especially in the hippocampus, the part of your brain that helps regulate mood and memory. In other words, moving your body doesn't just make you feel better in the moment. It actually builds a happier brain for the future. And the best part, you don't need a complicated fitness plan to experience these benefits. You don't have to run marathons or spend hours in a gym if that's not your style. Happiness through movement is about finding something you enjoy and doing it consistently. Maybe it's dancing in your living room, riding a bike, practicing yoga, or simply walking around the block. The key is to move in a way that feels good to you, because joy in movement multiplies the effect. When you look forward to it, you're more likely to keep coming back, and that repetition strengthens not only your muscles, but also the neural pathways that connect movement with positive emotion. I know that some days it feels impossible. Life gets busy. You feel tired. The couch calls your name. But here's what I've learned: the days when you feel like moving the least are the days you need it the most. Even if it's just standing up and stretching, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or walking around your home while you're on a phone call, those small choices add up. Each moment of movement sends a powerful message to your brain that says, I am alive, I am capable, and I am choosing energy over stagnation. So as you think about pushing yourself to be happy every day, remember that happiness isn't only about what you think. It's also about what you do with your body. Your brain is waiting for those signals of vitality, and the quickest way to send them is to move. Start small, stay consistent, and let every step remind you that motion is medicine. Happiness begins the moment you decide to move. When people think about happiness, they often imagine big life-changing events, a dream job, a perfect relationship, a trip around the world. But the real engine of happiness isn't those rare, dramatic moments. It's the tiny, almost invisible decisions you make every single day. I like to call them micro choices. These are the small, intentional shifts that shape the quality of your day, and over time, the quality of your life. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but they add up in ways that are powerful and lasting. Consider the first few minutes after you wake up, before you even step out of bed. You have a choice. Do you reach for your phone and dive straight into a flood of emails, news, and social media? Or do you pause, take a breath, and set a positive intention for the day? That single decision, just a few seconds of awareness, can ripple through every interaction you have. One path primes your brain for stress and distraction. The other primes it for focus and gratitude. The difference may feel small in the moment, but it builds momentum that carries through the hours ahead. Micro choices show up everywhere. It might be choosing to smile at a stranger instead of looking away. It might be deciding to savor your lunch instead of eating it while scrolling. It might be taking 3 slow breaths before responding to a frustrating email. These aren't dramatic acts. They don't require a special schedule or a new budget. But each time you make one of these small decisions, you're sending a signal to your brain. This is the direction I want to go. This is the person I want to be. And your brain listens. Over time, those signals strengthen the neural pathways that make calmness, kindness, and optimism easier to access. What's fascinating is how these micro choices can actually change the chemistry of your body in real time. When you choose to pause instead of reacting, you lower stress hormones like cortisol and give your nervous system a chance to reset. When you choose to notice something beautiful, a flower, a laugh, the sound of the wind, you trigger dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward and motivation. These are not abstract benefits. They are concrete biological changes that help you feel better in the moment and build resilience for the future. The challenge is that micro choices can work both ways. Just as positive choices build upward momentum, negative ones can create downward spirals. Ignoring a friend's text, Skipping that short walk or indulging in constant worry might feel harmless in isolation, but over time, they reinforce patterns of disconnection and stress. That's why awareness is everything. The more you notice these small forks in the road, the more power you have to steer your day toward joy instead of frustration. The beauty of focusing on micro choices is that it removes the pressure to overhaul your life overnight. You don't have to wait for the weekend or for perfect conditions. You can start right now in the next minute. Maybe you choose to take a sip of water instead of another cup of coffee. Maybe you choose to speak kindly to yourself instead of criticizing a mistake. Maybe you choose to listen fully to the person in front of you instead of letting your mind wander. Each of these is a tiny vote for happiness, and like drops of water filling a jar, they eventually overflow into a life that feels lighter, brighter, and more connected. So as you think about pushing yourself to be happy every day, remember this: it's not the grand gestures that transform you, it's the small, deliberate steps you take moment by moment. Happiness is built in the space between one choice and the next, and every tiny decision is an opportunity to steer your life toward joy. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful happiness habits you can practice, and the science behind it is remarkable. When you take even a few seconds to notice something you're thankful for, your brain begins to shift. It starts releasing neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, the very chemicals that lift your mood and calm your nervous system. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, it strengthens neural pathways that make it easier to access positive emotions in the future. It's like giving your brain a daily tune-up that keeps it running smoothly, even when life feels messy. The beauty of gratitude is that it doesn't require perfect circumstances. You don't need a sunny day, a big paycheck, or a flawless relationship to practice it. In fact, some of the most transformative moments of gratitude come in the middle of challenges, when you choose to focus on what is still good, even when things aren't going your way. Maybe it's the steady rhythm of your breath, the warmth of a cup of tea, or the support of someone who cares about you. These moments might seem small, but they're like little anchors that keep you steady when everything else feels uncertain. One of the most effective ways to build a gratitude habit is to write it down. At the end of each day, take just a minute or two to list 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be profound. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. Maybe you enjoyed a delicious meal, heard a song that made you smile, or shared a laugh with a friend. By writing it down, you're not only noticing the good, you're physically reinforcing the memory, which strengthens those happiness circuits in your brain. Over time, this practice retrains your mind to scan for positive details automatically, so gratitude starts to appear throughout your day without effort. Gratitude also changes the way you interact with others. When you regularly acknowledge the good in your life, you naturally begin to see the good in people. You become more patient, more compassionate, more willing to forgive. Your relationships deepen because people feel seen and appreciated, and that connection feeds back into your own happiness. It's a beautiful loop. The more gratitude you express, the more joy you create, both for yourself and for the people around you. And here's something interesting. Your brain can't be in a state of deep gratitude and stress at the same time. When you focus on what you appreciate, you're essentially turning down the volume on anxiety and fear. Even a short gratitude break during a busy day can reset your mood and give you a clearer perspective. It's like pressing a mental reset button, allowing you to approach challenges with more calm and creativity. You might be thinking, but what about the days when I can't find anything to be grateful for? Those are the days when this practice matters most. Start small. Be grateful for the fact that you're breathing. Be grateful for the ability to notice your thoughts. Be grateful for a single ray of light coming through a window. Gratitude is not about denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about widening your lens so you can see that even in difficulty, there is still something worth holding on to. As you move through each day, try weaving gratitude into the little moments. Pause before a meal to notice the flavors you're about to enjoy. Take a breath before bed and think of one thing that went right, no matter how small. Share a quick thank you with someone who helped you, even in a tiny way. These simple acts of appreciation create ripples of happiness that extend far beyond the moment. Remember, this gratitude isn't just a reaction to good things. It's a decision to see the good that's already there. And when you make that decision over and over again, happiness follows naturally because a grateful heart is a joyful heart. One of the deepest truths about happiness is that it thrives in connection. We are wired to connect. From the moment we're born, our brains are designed to respond to other people, to their voices, their expressions, their touch. Relationships aren't just a nice addition to a happy life. They are a fundamental ingredient. In fact, some of the longest running studies on human well-being show that the single strongest predictor of long-term happiness isn't wealth, status, or even health. It's the quality of our relationships. Strong, supportive connections literally protect the brain, reduce stress, and boost emotional resilience. Think about a time when you shared a genuine laugh with a friend or had a heartfelt conversation that left you feeling better. Those moments do more than warm your heart. They trigger a cascade of positive chemicals like oxytocin and endorphins that lower blood pressure, calm the nervous system, and give you a deep sense of belonging. Your brain actually lights up when you feel connected. It's nature's way of telling you, this is good for you. Do more of this. But meaningful connection doesn't always mean having dozens of friends or being the life of the party. What matters most is depth, not quantity. One heartfelt conversation can nourish you more than 100 superficial interactions. It can be as simple as sitting with a loved one and really listening. It can be checking in with a colleague who seems a little off. It can be calling someone you care about, not to talk about anything specific, but just to say, I'm thinking of you. These small acts of reaching out are powerful. They strengthen the bonds that feed happiness and create a sense of shared humanity. Of course, building connections takes intention. In our busy, distracted world, it's easy to let relationships slide. We tell ourselves we'll call later, we'll meet up next month, we'll reach out when things slow down. But happiness doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It grows when you make the choice, even in small ways, to nurture the people around you. Maybe it's sending a quick text to a friend just to say you're grateful for them. Maybe it's taking a few minutes to talk with a neighbor. Maybe it's putting down your phone at dinner so you can give someone your full attention. These little decisions send a powerful message. You matter. This connection matters. Connection also gives us strength in hard times. Life will always bring stress, loss, and unexpected challenges. But when you have people you can lean on, those experiences become more bearable. Sharing a burden doesn't erase it, but it does lighten it. And when you show up for others, you not only support them, you reinforce your own sense of purpose. Happiness isn't just about feeling good. It's about belonging, about knowing that your life is intertwined with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes people hesitate to reach out because they fear rejection or don't know what to say. But remember, connection doesn't have to be perfect. It's not about saying the right thing or having a flawless interaction. It's about being present and genuine. A simple, how are you really doing? Or a quiet moment of listening can mean more than any polished speech. Authenticity is what creates trust, and trust is what allows happiness to flourish between people. As you think about pushing yourself to be happy every day, ask yourself, who can I connect with today? Who can I appreciate, support, or simply share a moment with? The answer might be a family member, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger you pass on the street. Every connection, no matter how small, is a chance to build a bridge of joy. Because in the end, happiness isn't something we create in isolation. It's something we grow together. One of the most freeing truths about happiness is that it doesn't require perfection. In fact, perfection is often the very thing that holds us back from joy. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that we need to have it all together to feel worthy of happiness, a flawless job, a perfectly fit body, and unshakable confidence. But life isn't built that way. Life is growth, and growth is messy. Real happiness comes not from being perfect, but from embracing the journey of becoming, learning, and evolving. Think about how children learn to walk. They wobble, they fall, they get back up again. And each time they fall, they're not angry at themselves for failing. They simply try again, a little stronger, a little more balanced. That's what growth looks like. Yet as adults, we often punish ourselves for every stumble. We replay mistakes, criticize our choices, and set impossible standards. When we do that, we rob ourselves of the very experiences that help us grow, and we push happiness further away. The truth is, every setback, every mistake, every unexpected detour is part of the process of becoming who you're meant to be. Your brain is constantly adapting, constantly learning, and every challenge you face strengthens the pathways that build resilience. When you treat each experience as a chance to grow instead of proof that you're not good enough, you open the door to a deeper, more sustainable form of happiness. You stop chasing an impossible ideal and start appreciating the beauty of progress. One powerful way to embrace growth is to celebrate small wins. Too often, we wait for big achievements, a promotion, a milestone, a dramatic transformation before we allow ourselves to feel proud or happy. But happiness lives in the small steps, making that phone call you've been avoiding, showing up to exercise when you didn't feel like it, speaking kindly to yourself after a mistake. Each small step is proof of your ability to adapt and move forward. Each one is a victory worth noticing. This mindset of growth also changes how you handle failure. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, you begin to see it as feedback, a lesson, a stepping stone, a necessary part of success. Neuroscience shows that when you reframe mistakes as opportunities, you reduce the stress response in your brain and keep the learning centers active. That means you recover faster, think more clearly, and stay motivated. Failure stops being a threat and becomes a teacher. Of course, embracing growth doesn't mean you never feel frustration or disappointment. It means you meet those feelings with compassion. You remind yourself that it's okay to be human, to stumble, to need time. Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's fuel. It allows you to keep going, to keep trying, to keep believing in your own capacity to change. And every time you choose compassion over criticism, you strengthen the neural pathways of resilience and joy. So as you push yourself to be happy every day, remember that happiness isn't about reaching a perfect destination. It's about showing up fully for the journey, messy, unpredictable, and beautiful. It's about loving yourself enough to grow, to try again, to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't straight. Progress, not perfection, is what nourishes the brain and the heart. Happiness belongs to those who keep growing, and growth begins the moment you choose to embrace where you are and take the next step forward. Outro of this video: stop waiting for happiness to magically appear. Start creating it every single day. How to push yourself to be happy every day is more than a motivational talk. It's a science-backed blueprint to rewire your brain, fuel your energy, and unlock unstoppable joy. In this life-changing speech, you'll discover how small daily actions spark massive emotional shifts, how movement transforms your mood in minutes, and how gratitude, connection, and growth can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary breakthroughs. This isn't just inspiration, it's transformation. Your happiest life isn't a dream, it's a decision you can make today. Are you ready to begin?